700 years of rain dripping of a castle on the same spot on stone. Storm chaser Laura Rowe captured the picture of a lifetime on May 17, 2021 with this fantastic shot of a mature supercell thunderstorm illuminated at varying heights from the setting sun. West Texas. The insane detail of this 400 million year old crinoid fossil. Foot of a marble sculpture of Marcus Aurelius unearthed in southern Turkey. The delicateness of this marble sculpture by Antonio Canova. Mardalstusen waterfall in Norway. Cancun Underwater Museum in Mexico. This is a 3,400-year-old painter's palette from ancient Egypt Amenhotep III era. Cactus has cable-like structure from inside. Postcard from 19001910 identified as exact location of Van Gogh's last painting. Piano tiles. Pistol dueling used to be an Olympic sport. Multiple walls surrounding Burg Hokosterwitz, a castle built on a limestone more than 1,000 years ago which was continuously fortified until the 16th century. Still owned by the noble Kavendler family after the acquisition in 1571. Carinthia, Austria. Right now Saturn is the largest and brightest it will be all year, easy to find without a telescope. Hey race, a picture I captured last night from my backyard. OC. Piles of rifles surrendered by German soldiers after the end of the Second World War 1945. The world's first suspended bike path roundabout. A human shadow on the steps of a bank in Hiroshima following the explosion of the nuclear bomb in August 1945. This village is built on a basaltic cliff more than 50 m high and spreads about 1 km long. Castellfollit de la Roca, Spain. Without a water filter this shit ends up in your body. Every day at 1 p.m. at my town this old-fashioned train-like contraption emerges from the concrete box it's above and starts ringing out loud signifying it's now 1 p.m. Armored diving suit from the 1870s. Steam-powered lawnmower cutting the grass on the Capitol lawn 1903. Two rivers of different colors meet. First day testing out my first telephoto lens and sitting outside and the jet went to exactly the right place. An example of a medieval candle clock. People would hear the nail hit the ground letting them know a certain amount of time had passed. These were used mainly by the rich as candles were expensive. OC, this is an actual image 6144x4095 of Intel i3 CPU silicon die I took today with an electron microscope. Zoom in to see the details. My entire life I have lived 10 minutes away from an ancient Neolithic burial ground 1,000 years older than Stonehenge and I only just found out about it. X-ray of so-called chess stand. Enormous Nazi rally at Reichserntedankfest on 1934 which consisted of 1.2 m people. Countries where it is completely legal to eat a hamster. Time lapse of the night sky away from the lights of a city. 600 years old ancient astronomical clock in Prague. A walnut sprouting life. This Japanese pet penguin named Lala walked every day into town by himself with a backpack and collected fish from the local fish market. Unfortunately he died in 1998. Rest in peace Lala. Emerald amp gold ring from the 1715 Spanish treasure fleet. This lift on a beach trail I saw. On August 2, 1870 Tower Subway, the world's first underground tube railway, opens in London, England, United Kingdom. The Milky Way and a shipwreck OC. Chalk particles under a microscope. 4 Kings Edward VII far right, his son George Prince of Wales, later George V far left, and grandsons Edward later Edward VIII rear and Albert later George VI foreground. C.1908. Sending an email with an acoustic coupler at a payphone in the early 1980s. K2's bottleneck and the giant Serac. This traverse is one of the most iconic and dangerous obstacles in high-altitude mountaineering. Led Zeppelin's private jet, the Starship, a former United Airlines Boeing 720, had a functional fireplace built-in, image from 1975 colorized. Possibly the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. This iceberg was reported to have a red streak of paint from the ship's hull along the waterline on one side. Japan's self-defense Air Force fighter jet. This Guyexen term in Heilbronn is part of the tower. There's infrastructure, Dutch infrastructure, and then there's American infrastructure. The Statue of Liberty under construction, Paris 1884. This guy is called a sea lemon because he's yellow, right? Not exactly, he smells like a lemon too. After a contentious campaign marred by fraudulent votes, New Zealand named the KKP a fat, flightless and nocturnal parrot the bird of the year for 2020. I captured the last quarter moon a few days ago. Feel free to zoom in. OC. Huang Odi Age Maria Age, born February 17, 1917, 104. She is the only remaining original Mombabatok or Kalinga tattoo artist. There's a bridge in Scotland called the Overtown Bridge, which has been the site of countless suicide attempts by dogs for years. At a certain point on the bridge, many dogs have leapt off the bridge and into the water below. Some that did not die initially climbed back up to jump again. Italian artist Giovanni Contardi broke the record by creating a 6,000-piece mosaic in under 16 hours, the largest Rubik's Cube mosaic ever made in this time. This photograph is black and white picture. An artist has drawn some color lines through it. The human brain is filling the rest of the colors even though they aren't there. This is what your fluffy cat's adorable toe beans look like without fur. You are welcome. This is Kanako. This chimpanzee was born in a Japanese zoo. She exhibited abnormalities such as slanted eyes and hyperflexibility in the spine, so researchers examined her genome. They found she actually had Down syndrome. Archaeologists found this drawing's 4,000 years old location is 30-minute drive from my home. Location 7 CQPGV6 Karayamangalam, Tamil Nadu 604,202 India. There are anime LED illuminated manhole sewer covers in Japan. The New Zealand promo for Kill Bill in 2003. American WW1 heroes with the French medals they were awarded for valor in battle. Croix de Guerre Medal 1919. Statue of King Leonidas in Sparta, Greece. The Aokigahara forest in Japan is a very popular suicide spot. It happens so often that there is even a sign posted that begs incomers to reconsider. Even scarier is the movie made about this, starring Natalie Dormer, and how bad it was. Burning mattress. Digital version of the city completely from my imagination. Zoom in and see all the details. The Thomasat urban farm rooftop looks hella futuristic. Frank Tower, the legendary man who survived the sinkings of the Titanic, Empress and Lusitania, is actually a myth that managed to fool such well-known sources as Ripley's Believe It or Not into believing he was a real person. This is the result after taking 48,400 snapshots from 2H of observations, 1,452 images stacked, and 3 days of processing composite. These boxcar boulders in Pennsylvania. Kazagumo Fuji, a stirring and mysterious visage of Mt. Fuji when the clouds rest atop its peak as seen from Lake Motosu, one of the Fuji 5 lakes. Oldest bridge in Europe still in use, found in Greece. The Arkadiko Bridge dates back to the Mycenaean times, built over 3,300 years ago. Sennaub and his family. 268-62181 BC Dynasty 4 in ancient Egypt. Sennaub name means healthy, was very wealthy, worked in the royal court and was a priest. Lobster in a bucket looks like a gigantic monster on a metallic planet, and the water droplets look like stars. the gun that Vincent van Gogh used to commit suicide. It sold at auction in 2019 for $182,000. The Pizarnik carpet is the world's most ancient carpet. It was excavated in 1949 from the grave of a Scythian nobleman in the Pizarnik Valley of the Altai Mountains in Siberia. Radiocarbon testing indicated that the carpet was woven in the 5th century BC. Just found the Rick Astley Bridge on Google Earth. Like and subscribe for more daily videos. You can always unsubscribe later if you end up not enjoying them.